So I recently just got done watching Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Not just once, but twice. Yes, I went to go and see this twice. I went to go see it with all my mates, and funnily enough, usually they're pretty inappropriate in the cinema, so I was pretty surprised I didn't get touched. So I was actually pretty happy with that. And I also went to go and see it with my mum a couple of days later, and I'm also very surprised I didn't get touched. Where am I going with this? I'm clearly joking. Please don't cry at me in the comments. Anyway, where I'm going with this is, I'm going to be talking about my thoughts, my opinions, my review, my semi-out of the cinema reaction, because I kind of remember like everything that happens in the movie now that I've seen it like twice. And of course, as a massive Planet of the Apes fan, I thought this movie was extremely grouse. Like, it put hair on my balls, is what I'm trying to say here. I felt very good while I was watching this movie again. It was very exciting. I've been waiting for a long time to watch a new Planet of the Apes movie. Ever since I got done with watching War, I was like, you know, I feel like we're probably not going to get a sequel, but I really, really want a sequel. And then when Disney bought 20th Century, I was like, no, Disney are never going to make a sequel to this. And as we know, Disney have been making some more R-rated, MA15 type content. Like, we've got Deadpool, who's probably going to be having some gay sex with Wolverine in his new movie, so I'm really excited to watch that. Again, we ended up getting a sequel to this. Not only did we get a sequel, but apparently we're supposed to be getting 9 movies, so that's pretty fucking sick. I'm probably going to be making a separate video on that. But this movie was awesome. What can I say? Again, when I do like to give out the reviews, in my opinion, it's very hard to base a review off Rise. It's hard to do one off Dawn. It's hard to do one off War, because my opinions on those movies change every second. Again, one week Dawn will be my favorite of the 3, and then the other week it will be my least favorite of the 3, because all the movies are just so awesome, and it is one of the greatest trilogies of all time. So we put a lot of expectation on this one to be very, very good, and I will say 100% it is. Again, in my opinion, I would probably give it a 9 out of 10. The other 3 could all be up for 10 out of 10s, but this one definitely, in my opinion, fell a little bit more short of the other 3. Again, lowest I'd go is 8.5. There was a lot of fantastic things about the movie. Before I get into them, I'll speak about the few negatives, because obviously this movie was so great. Again, spoiler review, unless you're watching my thoughts and opinions on the movie. I promise you, if you actually go and watch it, it will put hair on your balls much more than what my voice telling you about my thoughts will probably do. So go and watch the movie if you haven't already. Like, fuck. What are you doing still watching? But anyway, again, some of the little negatives. Of course, the first third of the movie was like pretty slow. I mean, it's very obvious, it's very talked about online that the start of it is a relatively slow movie. This can be seen as a good thing and a bad thing. Bad thing in terms of it gets a little boring. Good thing in terms of it's actually really building the new world and what the plot is going to be like. So you can battle that in 2 different ways, right? Some other negatives, I thought Rucker deserved to be alive for much longer. In my opinion, I thought I really liked this character. I'd like to not see him die, and then he dies. My mum's opinion, and some other people online's opinion, is we didn't actually get to see enough of Rucker for us to even sympathize with his death. I disagree with that, but I still thought his death was maybe a bit early. Like, they could have used that as a end of the movie type of thing, right? And then some other negatives. Necessarily the ending isn't how I would have portrayed the ending. I'm not sure if I necessarily like the fact that there's this whole space station full of people who can speak, and that, you know, didn't turn into what Woody Harrelson said everyone would turn into, because I thought the whole idea of this movie would be for what Woody Harrelson said in the 3rd movie, the Colonel. Everything he said would be true. In fact, only 95% of it would be true, because it turns out not every human was to become cavemen type people. The thing is, it also kind of took away from the specialness of what Freya Allen's character May was like. I thought May was so unique because she was the only one who can speak, and all of this type of stuff, right? But then we got to see William H. Macy's character, and I was still a little bit taken away from that. And then when we saw everyone in that space station, I was like, I mean, yeah, it kind of makes sense that all these people, like, have probably not left that joint in, like, maybe 300 years and maybe decide to create it like a fallout vault and sustain it through vegetables, agriculture, and horticulture in there. I mean, we don't know. I'm sure that's going to be explained in the next movie. But it took it away from me. And I wasn't in relation to that side of the story as much as I completely was with the other three, right? Again, there's a couple other little things here and there that were nitpicks that I'm not going to get into because no one gives a fuck, to be straight. And then, obviously, there's the positives. The positives was, this was a fantastic movie. Again, even though Proxima Caesar wasn't on as much as I'd like, that dude was a fucking Kevin Durant, or Kevin Durant, probably not the basketball player, was super phenomenal playing him. You could tell how good he was. The characters were phenomenal. I really liked that Noah wasn't a direct ripoff of Caesar. In fact, you could tell there were these little moments where it was like, is Noah ready to lead? Is he going to become the leader, right? And even when we got to that point where it was like, maybe he's ready to become the leader and be the new leader of the Hawk clan, right? It still didn't seem like he was as committed or as similar to what Caesar was. So when I went into this thinking, hold on, hopefully we don't get a direct ripoff, I was very, very happy with that. May, obviously very awesome character. Oh my god, was she fucking hot in this. Like, come on now, Freya Allen, please DM me or something. I'm lonely. Not only are you very pretty, but your character was fucking awesome. She was really, really cool. And I loved in the end how she didn't necessarily, I want to say, betray all these other apes, because these apes kind of like, some of them sucked, right? Like, obviously Proxima Caesar and his men and the big gorilla were conceived to be these bad guys. But at the end of the day, what she did was, she picked the humans like she was going through the whole movie wanting to do. She picked those humans, and if it meant that Noah was to die, she still blew up that wall, meaning that there was a big chance Noah and his friends and family didn't make it out of that. And even though that might seem morally wrong, what she was doing in a way is very morally right, because she's obviously doing what she's doing, making sure she doesn't get followed, making sure she doesn't get chased, making sure those evil apes die, for her to have even the chance to bring back humanity and restore it to, you know, very similar to what it obviously was. I love that. Again, I love Rucker's character. I loved the world, how everything was so beautiful. The CGI, the art, how the buildings, the tall ass buildings were covered in green and life. Again, the hawks were something different that I didn't know I really needed. I liked that a lot. And then, of course, again, the subtle hints to the astronauts, the subtle hints to space, the Easter eggs everywhere, some Easter eggs that people didn't catch along. My mum actually pointed this out, but if I remember right, in the first movie, when they go through the cave at the end, there's that, like, doll or something, or the plush doll, whatever it was, right? And then, obviously, when May is in the facility at the end, or not May, it was the apes. The apes pick up the doll, and it was a direct callback to the original movie. In fact, there were obviously a couple of those direct callbacks. So, it was so awesome, man. Great movie. 8.5 to 9 out of 10. Really, really good. My opinion, probably not as good as the other threes, which were like 9.5s to 10s, obviously, depending on how I feel in that week. Some might be 9.5, some might be 10. I'd very much like to know your thoughts and opinions on this all down below. Make sure to leave a like and comment your thoughts. Subscribe to this channel, my sports channel, and my IRL/vlogging channels. Links for them will be in the description down below. And yeah, as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.